Hey y'all, it is May the 4th, 2019. I'm just kind of chilling right here. Trying to relax a little bit, unwind. Um, I'm here actually, and here I'm going to show you the couple of pictures, screenshots that I took of what's going on live right now. A live election. Well, I think a lot of times we're having elections um, in regards to different things, to include their mayoral election. All right. I've been over here regrouping and stuff, so I haven't been putting out many videos. I've been thinking about how to reformat my brand and all this. Anyways, um, what I gotta put out there for everybody real quick is you probably don't know, half of San Antonio has no idea who are the mayoral candidates for San Antonio. The thing is, I gotta just quickly interject that it's kind of crucial. Um, it is kind of crucial, the decision that's being made right now. All right. From what I'm seeing, all right, you got Mayor Ron Nirenberg, who's the incumbent. He's the incumbent mayor, and of course, people voting for Mayor Ron Nirenberg would have to definitely be voting for the job that we got the past 2 years and be expecting the same thing, right? So that is literally not changed, right? So Greg Brockhouse, come to find out, I've done some research. I actually met with the guy, shook his hand a few days ago, and what I got to say about Greg Brockhouse, just so y'all know, he's not my daddy. We don't agree on everything, assuredly, because we're human beings. And all this, I don't depend on him for anything. Um, what I got to say about Greg Brockhouse is that he's actually a reasonable guy, which is kind of preposterous. You know, I think in mayoral elections as of recent for San Antonio, it's like Greg Brockhouse actually kind of seems reasonable. Now, none of the political people here are party affiliated anymore. It used to be all Democrat, but now it's just they don't claim anything. They don't claim Democrat or Republican. But if you had to characterize Greg Brockhouse, he seems kind of Republican with it. Right? He kind of seems like he's on that Donald Trump train. But he doesn't claim Donald Trump. He has respect for the presidency. Like I said, he's a reasonable guy. So he kind of seems to be in the vein of a Donald Trump, even though he's never been a reality TV star. Greg Brockhouse. And that it seems like what he wants to do most is cut some deals, make some money, bring some jobs to San Antonio, and he's pointed out specific examples in which we dropped the ball. These past 2 years, I mean, from things such as we could have had an Amazon factory or whatever, we could have had Amazon, we could have been employing them here in San Antonio. It didn't happen. That's a big old company. Could have had it, didn't happen. Right? And then, for example, we could have had the RNC hosted here. Believe it or not, in fact, I think Donald Trump's people actually contacted our city council and was like, oh man, we'd like to have the RNC there. And that did not happen. Right? A lot of people they're not familiar. I wasn't too familiar. Turns out the RNC, when it comes to your town, it brings your town a truck ton of money, all right? So much money. They leave gobs of money here when that happens. So Greg Brockhouse is like, hey, how about we cut deals? How about we work with everybody? How about we be all inclusive? How about we make that money? How about we represent for San Antonio like we haven't been doing? How about we cut down on crime? How about we be very law and order, for example? You know, it turns out there's like a crime epidemic in San Antonio. All right, so Greg Brockhouse is kind of just reasonable. He's a reasonable guy. He's like, hey, how about we live stream all of these little city council meetings and we put it on the internet so that everybody in San Antonio and the world can see what the hell we're talking about. And how about we stop having... See, this is what Greg Brockhouse is saying. All right, just be real brief. Greg Brockhouse is saying, how about we be transparent? Like, how about we don't have secret behind closed door meetings in regards to shutting out the RNC and calling them a bunch of haters, right? Because maybe San Antonio would want to know whether or not we should be hosting these things. Maybe they should get a voice, right? So Greg Brockhouse, just to let y'all know, he would be the candidate for change, whether or not you think change is a good thing, right? He'd be a candidate for kind of following in the footsteps of where the nation seems to be going, right? Especially the middle of the nation, right? Especially all the workers of the nation. Greg Brockhouse seems to be going that direction. He's a change agent, all right? What I want to point out is that, of course, what the numbers are showing, and we got another hour to find out. What the numbers are showing is Greg Brockhouse and Ron Nirenberg are very closely. The other contestants, they don't got no votes. They're not worth noting, all right? But Greg Brockhouse and Ron Nirenberg, of course, they're neck and neck, and it seems as though that as the districts roll in, that Ron Nirenberg is pulling away ever so slightly. All right, and just from what I've seen, and I've examined lots of goings on these past few years, just from what I've seen, that would strike me as them stealing it, right? Mind you, nobody has paper ballots and stuff around the nation and stuff. It's like, we can't get away from this electronics, so who knows what kind of fraud could be taking place. Maybe that's why people are like, oh shoot, there could be all sort of frauds taking place. But the numbers as they're going, they look very much like, oh, it's neck and neck. Oh, yeah. And so, Ron Nirenberg, he's going to just pull it out at the end. All right. So that's the story. If you ever heard that storyline go, all right, in which that would prove fraudulent. Now, one way that we could definitely prove, because that's just allegations. All right. One way that we could definitely prove it is this. Like I said, Greg Brockhouse is a change agent. Whether that's good or bad, right? Ron Nirenberg is the same old, whether you like that or not, all right? That's clearly established, right? Judging by the 2017 elections and those before them, we have sincerely in San Antonio a sincerely absent voter bloc. People do not come out to, and I'm talking about people who are registered voters. Like, they have no reason to not come out and vote. They typically don't vote, all right? Nobody does. It's like 10% tops of registered voters who had to do nothing else but to go to their local elementary school or something like that. They don't come out. Only 10% does. And it's kind of been going that way for a while. So the one way we could prove that it was stolen is if, for some reason, the voter turnout turns to be more than 2017. If it turns out to be substantially more than 2017, all right, that means there's many, many more new voters to the mayoral election, all right, which would imply that the change agent in this election would be significant enough, right? I haven't been all around town, but let me tell you, on District 6, I don't see Ron Nirenberg signs, especially in people's yards, right? I see Brockhouse signs wherever I go, every which way. So he showed up 6. That'd be another way to know. I mean, I want to see the results in specific for District 6, and you got to understand they're going to be overwhelmingly Brockhouse. All right, so that's one way to know. If it's a significantly larger turnout, and somehow Ron Nirenberg wins from a neck-and-neck race, so he just managed to pull it out, that's how you know that the election was stolen. Either way, you know, it's going to be a crucial It's going to prove to be a very crucial election. Greg Brockhouse said earlier, probably of our lifetime in San Antonio. And, you know what I'm saying, like I said, he's not my daddy, but I do believe he's correct on that. Anyways, I look forward to hollering at y'all a little bit more in a more, I guess, methodical way and stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes. Anyways, I appreciate y'all, and I'll holler at y'all.